Welcome. Welcome to the Find Your Words in English webinar. My name is Mo Ridderford and we will begin. Welcome. Fantastic. It's really great. Maybe you're noticing that I'm speaking very slowly and clearly. I call this slow English. Now, slow English means that you have the chance to listen and think about what I'm saying to you. It will be slow. It will be slower than many times in English, of course. I'm going to speak very clearly and slowly. And in this time, we have a chance to hear the words, but also hear the meaning behind the words. We all know situations where we can hear the words da 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 in our first language or our second language, but we are not sure if we get the whole meaning. Today, because we have people from different countries, it's much better if I speak slowly and clearly. Welcome to everybody. That's great. So, while I'm talking, please ask questions via the chat function from this webinar, or you can email me. I have access to both of those, and at the end I'm going to respond to questions. So I'm just going to check that everything is correct. Let me see if it's working. Going to double check, make it a little bit smaller, and let's double check. Do that, yeah. This is an example here and now of how we handle technology that is not our native technology. Technology here, the technology is language, but in this case also the technology of a webinar. So it's okay when it's not perfect. It's really okay. Do you feel that I left the conversation with you, or do you feel that I'm still connected with you? This is very important. We'll talk about this. So, presentation will be for 45 minutes, then question and answer. Please stay till the end. There is a surprise bonus. Let's go on. This is the problem. I can't speak. I want to speak. And the words don't come out. Or I don't have any words. Yeah? So somebody is talking to me and suddenly I want to say something, but it just won't come out. And I don't know what to do. This is a process to, this webinar will give you answers to this problem. We all know it. We freeze. We're talking with somebody and then the phone rings and it is in a second language of English. And the first moment is to freeze. And of course, the other person notices this and feels it. That's not good for business. That's not good for a romance. If we can do it better, that's the ideal. So, again, this is the structure. Number one, we'll understand the problems with English, and it's to do with school. Number two, we will see, oh my golly, I have a real talent in communication. Number three, we will understand the good in our communication in English right now. We will feel good about this. Number four, we will see I have a place in the English-speaking world. I must have a place in the English-speaking world. I must. Number five, we will feel a new relationship to English. And we will see what the current relationship is to English. Do we like it? Do we dislike English? Do we feel ashamed? These questions. Number 6, we'll see a way forward for you. Look at that beautiful picture. Isn't that beautiful? That's my picture. No, I could do it in graphic form, but I didn't. It's on a piece of paper. And let's look at this. At the bottom, we see early childhood as a small baby. A small baby doesn't think I have a problem. A small baby is there. A small baby is happy, is sad, cries, doesn't cry, but they are present. They arrive. Yes, I am here. There is nothing wrong. This is our experience in childhood. And what happens in early childhood? We learn our first language. So there must be something good about about our learning of our first language. Then we come to school. Very often we have the experience that we are doing things wrong. We get the feeling I am not yet good enough. Later I will be good enough. Not now, not today, not in this conversation. I am not yet good enough. Sometime in 1 year, in 5 years, in 10 years, at the end of school, I will be good enough. Maybe. Until then, my English is not correct. So we see that in red in the middle. And this, we learn an attitude to what we learn, and especially this is true with English as our second language. Number three, the stage at the top is after school. And we're going to see that right now you can feel inside yourself, yes, I can. My English is good enough. Wait a moment, let's have some fun with that, okay? Please, just say to yourself, just play with the idea, my English is good enough. Just please, all together, just say the words. Right now, I'm sure for many you don't believe this, but just play with the words. My English is good enough. My English is good enough. First proof, you are in this seminar right now. This is the first proof. You are in this seminar right now. That means your English is good enough to understand this webinar enough. Do you understand everything? Maybe. Do you understand enough? Yes. Also in our first language, sometimes we hear somebody speaking, we don't understand everything, but we understand enough. So the feeling is different from school. In school, if the words are not exactly correct, then the teacher says wrong. Maybe the word is 80% correct, but the teacher says, no, it's wrong. It's wrong in the exam. We have to have the right answer. If it is not the right answer, it is 100% wrong. So, now we have left school. We need to leave school. We need to see another way. The solution. I hope from the sound of my voice that you feel what I'm talking about. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. I love that picture. Small boy, but feels like he can do anything. For the women listening, I wish I had a picture for the women too. So, let's make that physical, what I just said. Let's make it physical. Let's stand up. I'm going to stand up right now, and let's stand up. And maybe it's been a long day, or maybe you're just waking up in the morning. Stand up. Oh, give yourself a big stretch. Feel okay. You are in this webinar and you understand me. Feel okay. Your mind says, no, I don't have enough words. No, my grammar is bad. No, I had a bad experience last week. No, no, no. That's your mind. Let it be, no problem. Just feel right now that we are having a conversation together. We are connected. Feels good, huh? So, reach up, reach behind yourself, and I have to give myself a pat on the back too. I have to feel good about what I'm doing. If I feel bad, I won't have set up this webinar. I have to feel good enough. So we have to feel good. So I recommend you do this physically, or even, now I'm sitting down again, I recommend that you do this a lot. With regards to a second language, we don't get enough praise and support. We need to talk to ourselves and feel good when we do good things, and not only when there are problems. In communication, there are always problems. That is just reality. There will always be problems in your first language, with your husband or your wife. Is it 100% perfect communication always with your children? For most people, I don't think so. But let's enjoy the good communication, the successes in communication. Give ourselves a pat on the back. Well done. So you can see so far, I'm talking about a feeling that we need to have inside. This opens us up, it relaxes us, and then we can surprise ourselves what we can do in a second language. Yes, communication is psychology. It is not just language. It is also psychology. Again, the one most important fact, maybe you will forget everything else from this webinar. The one most important fact, you right now are a master talent in communication. A master talent. Now, so far, I've talked a lot about giving you different opinions, and maybe you think, well, he's just another guy. Yes, I am just another guy, but I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself so you know why I think I have something to say. My background. It has been global since I grew up. My first 20 years were only in New Zealand. So New Zealand, you have to fly for over 2 hours to the next country. So my first 20 years only in New Zealand. But then my life has been global. So after that, I lived in 3 cities in Australia for a total of 6 years. In 3 locations, London and 2 other places in England for 6 years. In America, in 2 on the East Coast and on the West Coast for a total of 7 years. Now, this habit of at least 5 or 6 or 7 years changed when I came to Germany 14 years ago. I didn't speak any German, and I was planning to be here for 3 days. Now I'm here, I have a German wife, I have a son, 6-year-old son. He speaks German, and of course I talk English with him. So my life is bilingual as an adult, but as a child was strictly monolingual as an English speaker. Recently, I came back from 8 months teaching in 2 Saudi Arabian universities. I wanted to go to a culture where I didn't speak the language of Arabic and I didn't know the culture. And I knew the culture would be very different. Yes, it is very different from a European or an Asian or an American culture. It's different. So I've worked for a dozen years with over 1,000 learners, and you see the different companies and universities. I've worked one-to-one online and in person with professionals from over 15 countries. And I'm also the creator or discoverer of the Be in English approach. Okay, let's go back to the subject, your master talent in communication. Let's quickly look let's just think about what happened with you as a small child. Even as a baby in the womb of your mother, you heard sound and you started to get meaning from the sound. After you were born, you learned to copy this sound perfectly. You could make the same sound as your mother at a higher tone, but the same sound, the same different. You understood very quickly what are the meaningful sounds in my language and what are not meaningful. You understood the sounds that are special for Japanese or Russian or German, and you learned to ignore the other sounds. You knew these sounds had meaning. By the time you're 5 years old, you can speak over 1,000 words, and you can understand many, many more. And with mostly good grammar. And no one taught you this. So this is who you are. You are a human being. You have this talent. Why are children so good learning to speak? Let's look at some characteristics of the learning process for a small child. You have one-to-one contact with your mother. You have simpler words. Your mother speaks in a more simple way. Many, many hours of contact. When your mother shows you an apple, your mother doesn't say the word apple. An apple is a piece of fruit. No, your mother holds an apple in her hand. She gives you a piece of apple. You touch it, you smell it, you taste it, you hear the word apple, 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 apple. Through this experience, through taste and touch and sound and saying the word yourself, the feeling of your mouth when you say the word apple, it all combines to make the words stick. No books. No books. In the beginning, no books. Nearly no books. And human connection. You felt relaxed and connected with the other person. You felt, yes, love. Before we go on, I need to check that this recording so it goes away. Good. So this is not only live, but it's also with recording. Okay. Now let's look at school. foreign languages in school. They call them foreign. It's not, foreign means it's not part of you. It's somewhere far away. It's not part of your home. It's foreign. It's extra. It's outside. This is already the wrong word to use. I always use the word second language. And we see it is not one-to-one, big classes. It is not many hours per day and per week. No, it is 3 hours per week, 6 hours per week. This is not enough. We need intensity. Using books. The teacher, I have lots of respect for teachers. I really respect what they do, but it is too often an impossible task. So they have so many students, they must use a book. They can't talk one-to-one. Or they often find it very difficult to find ways to have conversation in learning a second language. The students must be there in the class. They don't want to be there, many, but they must be there. So they're not really interested. They're not really passionate about it. There's not love. The classmates. If the teacher says to you, read something from the book to the class, the person feels the gaze, the attention of their classmates, and often the classmates are ready to laugh. And they feel this, and then the student is asked to read out loud to the class. This is not easy, not in any language. To read out loud is not easy to do. It is a practice, it is a special skill. It is a long way away from simple one-to-one conversation. That is the goal. Successful one-to-one conversation. If you succeed one-to-one, you will succeed in bigger groups and also on stage. So, is this just what I'm telling you, or is it really true? We see at the bottom, 14% of students in Europe achieve fluency in their second language. Fluency, what is this? Fluency means can they have a conversation about most things in their second language. 86% of students do not achieve this. 86%. Perhaps others after school through life or work, the numbers increase more for sure. But in school, this is the result. 86% fail. Yes, they pass the exam, but they do not reach fluency. This survey was across many countries of Europe and supported by many European governments. Okay, so we see what the problem is with school, and we need to see what's the alternative. Number one, I think I want you to get this message. Feel good about your English right now. The English you have right now, feel good about it. Speak it. Speak what you have. Feel good. I feel good. Da 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 da. Like I knew that I would. Da 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 da. Wonderful singing. Maybe I should stick to my day job of not singing. Number two, notice and accept your changing competence in English. Please, have you noticed in your first language that when you're tired, you can't speak so well. When you're really tired, you start to sound like a drunk person. That's in your first language. In your second language, this will happen much faster. And after some hours in a second language of English with high concentration, you can feel that the words don't come out, or you cannot understand what others are saying to you. This is changing ability in English as your second language. Also for me, as a native speaker, it's the same for me. If I'm very tired, the same thing can happen, and I can start to feel it is difficult to communicate. So we notice that, but we need to accept that. If we are tired, we can speak in a more simple way. If we are tired, we can say to the other person, please speak more slowly, clearly, please speak in a more simple way. We can see this changing access to English, and we can accept it and use what we have in this moment. And if we really notice this, we will see it changes from minute to minute, even second to second. And we can accept this. Acceptance is very important. Number 3, during a conversation, we look at the other parts of communication besides words and grammar. The face, the body, the context. This means for you right now, you have information from your own body. Your body is telling you, I am interested or I am not interested. This is important information. If you feel, oh my gosh, this speaker is so boring, then your understanding will go down. You will feel, oh, I don't understand this English. Maybe it's because your words and grammar are not good enough, or maybe simply that the subject is not interesting enough for you. So we have a lot more sources of information in communication. Let's notice them and use them to help us to understand the words that we hear. Number 4, I talked about this before, we notice the quality of our partner's English and we learn to manage it. We use questions to slow down our partner. We learn how to ask questions quickly. We notice if they have a special accent. We can say to them, please, your accent is difficult for me. Could you change it? Could you pretend to be speaking a more mainstream, more standard English? Please try this for me. I know you come from Scotland. I know you come from Ireland. I know you come from different states in America with more difficult accents that are not normal. I know this. Please change for me. Now, I give you all of these 5 steps together because these are all things we can practice all at the same time. This is not first step 1, then step 2, then step 3. No. All of these practices together. This is about an attitude in your own mind. We accept the grammar we have right now. We accept the vocabulary we have right now. We deeply accept it. We say, I am good enough. You are good enough for this webinar. You understand enough for this webinar. Hey, perfect moment. Stand up. Pat yourself on the back. So, how do we do this? How do we practice these 5 steps? Do it yourself. YouTube is fantastic. Find videos. Listen to them. Listen to them again. Listen to them again. Find language websites. Google and you will find many, hundreds of language websites. Speak with people. If you come from a town where people don't speak your language, speak with them. This can be hard, and it is often difficult to stay motivated. It is often difficult to have a standard practice of doing this. But this is completely possible. You can find a language teacher. In nearly every town, you can find a language teacher, or online. Very often language teachers are also affected by school, and they think also that communication in English means words and grammar. They focus too much on it. They know very well about words, they know very well about grammar, but this is not the full complex experience of communication with another person. There's a lot more that happens in communication. A language teacher often takes up too much time. They often say you need 6 months, you need 1 year, you need many years, you need to travel to go and take a class in a school. Mostly there is no guarantee, and we'll talk about that. No guarantee of the results, very often. Often with books. They learnt through books in school and they think that's what you should do. Often like back in school. So a language teacher does good things, but in a limited context. It is not the full context of communication. The alternative. Use your own, number one, feel good about yourself. Number two, learn to speak and listen in spoken communication. This is the foundation for a second language. You will feel good. You will have fun in the contact, in the spoken communication. You cannot replace it with reading or writing or watching a movie. Real-time interaction with someone else is the foundation. What did you do with your mother? You spoke with your mother. You listened to your mother. This is the foundation. It does not go away. You must make this the most important thing. If you succeed with spoken communication, you can succeed with written or written communication or with reading. Number three, try to find a small group or one-to-one. Both are possible. You can do it online with Skype. For many people in many countries, there can be 5 people on the Skype and it works very well. Number 4, and in different ways I've talked about this, we need to notice the state of our own brain. Notice our own mind. Are we concentrated or distracted? Are we thinking about dinner? It's the second half of the webinar. Are you still with me? Notice if you are tired, it's the end of the day. Notice if you are thinking about something else. Please stay with me. The next 5 points are about what kind of professional I recommend. I recommend a professional who loves simple conversation, who knows that the real conversation, the best business happens with the unexpected, the spontaneous, the unplanned. And a professional will work with you to help you to do this, to respond to the other person. This is spontaneous. Number 6, find a professional who understands the mind of the learner. Now, in my own case, I have meditated for 30 years. More than 1 hour per day. I meditate because I love it. This brings me an understanding of the mind. I have had the good luck that I like it, to meditate. This brings an understanding how the mind works, any mind. But of course, other professionals also, a committed teacher should have a very good understanding of the learning process. A committed teacher, a committed communication coach, a professional should still learn, should still be learning. Why? Because they love learning and they want to know better how we learn. They are interested in learning. They are not just giving information. They are learning while teaching how to be a better teacher, or how to be a better professional. This helps the learner to learn better. The learner has an example in the other person of how to learn. Number 8, we find a professional with a lot of global experience. Please try to find a professional who has not just come from one country to your country, or has stayed in their own country and is working online. You need to work with somebody who understands the differences, the big differences in perspective between different countries and different cultures. Then they will support you to have the same flexibility in communication. The 9th point is very important. You need to feel that the professional is interested in you and your life. A good professional should be interested to help your life, not only your language of English, but your life. For most people, they learn English, they focus on English because they want to have a better job, find a husband from another country, find a wife from another country. They're interested in other things, not just language. Language is a tool. So the professional should be interested in the goal for you, for your life, and not just in language. And this is why I don't call myself a language teacher. Yes, I am. I have taught in 5 universities. They called me a language teacher, but actually, if we call ourselves a language teacher, then people think we are teaching language. No. Much more important is communication. And also the word teacher is a problem. That sound you heard, maybe you heard it, is a reminder to stay on time. So, a coach, I call myself a coach, also consultant for organizations, and that's because for many the word teacher is a problem because their experience in school was not good. Finally, demand guaranteed results. Demand guaranteed results. And I'll explain what I mean. If you go to a builder and the builder wants to build you a house, and the builder says, yes, I ask for this much money per hour, and I can give you 1,000 hours of work for your house, and you say to the person, well, actually, I don't really want your hours, I want a house. I want a house with a roof. And the builder says, well, I can give you many hours, and maybe I will give you a house with a roof, but I cannot guarantee it. I'm not sure. Maybe 1,000 hours is enough, or maybe you need more. Maybe you need to pay more money. My question to you, would you use a builder like that? I say no. You want a builder that says, give me this amount of money, I will build you this house, you will have a roof on this house, you will have a house that you want to live in. So find a professional that guarantees the results for you. So, part of this process is to have a consultation with a professional. I'm one of these professionals. So, this is I call it Find Your Secret Talent in English. Free consultation. During this 20 minutes, it sounds like a lot, I know, but really it's possible. During these 20 minutes, you will have an instant online written assessment of your competence in English. You will have that, and you can take that information away with you. I will tell you the positives in your English and also the negatives, your strengths and your weaknesses. I will give you written, instant online advice for your best next steps. You will have practical ways that you can improve your English. Tips and tricks for free contact with English. I'll give you websites and other ways to get the information you need. During these 20 minutes, I will find out together with you, we can find out quickly if you think in English. This part is only possible through Skype or through a video communication. It's not possible over the telephone. But if you're interested in number 4, we can arrange this too. But it has to happen with Skype or with Google Hangout, so that you can see me. It's very quick, but it needs visual contact, and you will find out. And many are surprised the reality, and that reality is often translation from English back to the first language. Number 5, the consultation will be in simple, slow English or in German. I speak German. And for sure, I will speak more slowly, more easily. I want you to have an easy time, not a difficult time. I want to help you. Bonus. Tell me the secret bonus word. And the bonus word is kiwi. Kiwi, the fruit or the bird from New Zealand. This is your bonus. This is proof that you came to the end of the webinar, and you will get a free checkup of 1 page of your written English language resume or website or anything else, plus all the necessary corrections. So I'll give you all of that, so you can get a clear idea what is possible for you. Now, please contact me via my email to schedule a consultation with me. I look forward to meeting you in person. Now, in the last few minutes, some questions have come through, and I'd like to respond to some questions that come through in the time we have before the end of the hour. So the first question is, if schools are so bad, how can I talk to you? If schools are so bad, how can I listen to the webinar right now? All right. Schools are not bad, but they have problems. And these problems right now for you on this webinar and many of your colleagues is that the school way of English is now holding you back. We have to get free of the school way of English. We need to say, this is my language for the world. I have a right to be part of it. So schools are not bad, teachers are not bad, but the whole situation is not ideal for your success in English. Number 2, what do you mean by a guarantee? Okay. In my own case, I offer for a program, one of my programs is for 12 hours, 10 Skypes. And this program says very clearly that you will achieve bulletproof authentic confidence in English. This is the next question. Somebody asked me, you've written about bulletproof authentic confidence. What is this? So the guarantee is that you understand your own deep feeling of identity as an English speaker. I am an English speaker. I am not Shakespeare, but I am a speaker of English. Excuse me. and you can say, I am Mo, or I am Peter, I am Maria, I am Kumiko, and I speak my first language. I am a Japanese speaker, and I can also speak English. Yes, in a more limited way than a native speaker, but I know it is enough. So this is what I call authentic confidence in English. Bulletproof. You know, the soldiers, they wear a special clothing that stops bullets. Bulletproof authentic confidence. So bulletproof means that when difficult moments come in communication in English, you know what to do. You know how to ask a question. You know how to change the information so that you can respond. You know how to ask the other person, what did you mean? Please use other words. I don't understand this word. Please speak more slowly. You know how to do this. You understand how to think in English. So this is all part of the guarantee. And the guarantee means take this program with me, 12 hours, and after the 12 hours, you will have these clear experiences and understanding, and if you don't, I will run the same program again with you. I call it the double time program. There's more. It's money back. It's a money back guarantee. You do the first program. Maybe you feel, oh, I'm not sure if I got everything like the guarantee said I would. Then you can have the same program again for nothing. After the second program, and you feel, oh, I'm not sure, I still didn't get what I want, you get all of your money back. All of it. So this is a real guarantee. This is a double time, money back, customer satisfaction guarantee. You decide if you got the results that we agreed upon or not. You decide. Are you happy with the results or not? This is a real guarantee. So find a professional that has this kind of guarantee. The fourth and last question is, you have talked about your idea of slow English. And this is really, I talked about it at the beginning. I feel that there are big global problems. We have war in many places. We have pollution in many places. We have too many people in one place and not enough people in other places. And these are global problems. They are international problems. They are beyond one country. These problems exist and operate in an international global context. So to solve these problems, we need one language. One language for everyone. We need our first language and we need a second language. I believe this language is now English and will become more and more English. And English for everyone, not just for the native speakers. So all of us native speakers, we must learn to slow down. We must think a lot more about the non-native speakers of English. We must learn to be slower at the right time with somebody else. Why? Because then we can really listen and understand each other. If we speak slowly, we have time to think. We have time to respond more clearly. So I want native speakers like me to slow down, and I want non-native speakers to feel good. I want them to say to the native speaker, slow down, slow down. That is my vision. So we don't need to feel ashamed if our first language is not English. I want you all to feel good. I look forward to further contact. It's been great for this contact right now. I will respond to all questions by email or by phone call. You can tell me, and I really appreciate your time today. Thank you for your interest. Have a good evening. Have a good morning. Have a good day. Bye-bye.